For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.
Hi, we're back. I am talking with Elyse Bernard on Skype. She's talking with us from Denton, Texas. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us, Lisa.
Thank you for being here. We found your story about your daughter, Hallie's Heroes, through a Facebook viral post, and we wanted to share it with our viewers and the country, whoever's streaming and watching as well. So tell us a little bit about Hallie's story and what led to Hallie's Heroes.
Hallie was diagnosed with Diamond-Blackfan anemia. It's really rare. It's a bone marrow failure. Less than 800 children have it worldwide. Because it's so rare, there's not a lot of research. But the cure that we do have right now is a bone marrow transplant. Our problem is we don't have a bone marrow match in our family. My son, Brees, who's 6, and my daughter, Celia, who's 4, are perfect bone marrow matches for each other, but not for Hallie.
Oh, I understand. So you're going through the process of trying to find a donor for your daughter. And I understand you've inadvertently found matches for other people.
Yes, we have. So about 2 years ago, in the month of February, I got a call from the foundation of DBA, and they told us that 4 children passed away with DBA within the month of February. I crawled into my bed for a couple of weeks and was really depressed, and one of my friends pulled me out and said, let's go get margaritas and chips and guac. and talking with her, I was like, I think that we should just start like a grassroots effort, and we should start swabbing like all the moms at the playgroups that I'm at and try to find Hallie's match. And I mean, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. So
there's a lot of power in that.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home moms get a lot done.
We do. But I think when you've not been in the workforce for almost 9 years, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, where do I even start? And my friend Angie was like, I think that we can make this bigger. I think that we could actually have a charity. So we filed all the paperwork. I got a board, and amazing because I have 16 people on our board, and they're all like people that we knew or we were acquaintances with. And I called them and I was like, I need your help. I need you to help me save my daughter. And they were on it. And it was just an amazing group of talented people.
That's probably not a request people get very often, so if at all, ever, to help save your daughter. That's a big ask, but obviously very important.
It is. And I mean, I just think like they're just amazing people to do it. I mean, because Hallie's Heroes in the non-busy season is a part-time job. And in the busy season, it's a full-time job. And
what's the difference, busy or non-busy season? How do you differentiate?
Usually the summer is our off season, and then during the fall is one of our busiest seasons because we're swabbing college students left and right.
Oh, okay. So tell us a little bit about how you navigate, and explain to people who are watching who may not know, what is swabbing?
So what we're doing is it's a simple cheek swab, and it's like huge Q-tips. You put them inside your cheeks. You swab for 30 seconds, and we mail that to the National Bone Marrow Registry. We partner with DKMS, Delete Blood Cancer. They are an international swabbing organization. So we're swabbing, I mean, we swab people in Canada, wherever, because they can order their kits online too. Mm-hmm. So we just we've swabbed over 3,000 people, just in the last year and a half, 2 years. And we have found over 20 matches for 20 other families. And we just found out the other day that 3 of those matches have gone to collections. So they have donated either bone marrow from the hip or stem cells and have saved 3 people's lives,
Wow.
which is amazing.
It is amazing. And what a lot of people don't realize, I'm a huge advocate for organ donation. What a lot of people don't realize is that this is something you can give while you're living. And it's the swab of the cheek. It's very simple, not invasive, to see if you're a match. And then there's a process you go through that they keep you comfortable when they extract the marrow for the procedure, for the transplant. But it's something that you can give while you're living. It's not a matter of having to make a decision about a loved one once they've passed. So that's the extraordinary miracle about it. And you guys have found matches for people in your search for Hallie's match.
Yes.
20 people.
Yes.
That's extraordinary.
And that was part of what Hallie wanted. Like when we started this charity, Hallie said, I want to do more. I think we need to do more for the DBA kids that are just like me. And then it went from we need to do more, we need to do more for, there's 14,000 other families just like ours who are sitting on that waiting list. And no family should have to wait years to have more time with their family member.
We're going to have Hallie on in just a minute, but we wanted to talk without her in the room about her condition specifically. I know that you guys do a good job of making sure she's living a full, happy life and not worrying about her condition. So tell us a bit about how she's doing today.
Today she's great. She's stable. She's as healthy as she can be for a patient that is in bone marrow failure. We moved from Virginia to Texas in order to receive care. There's only 4 hospitals in the U.S. that can treat Hallie, and I'm so thankful that we did because we literally have specialists in our back door.
Amazing.
We go see them all the time. They'll call me on the phone. I'll call them, and her health has improved so much from us
By
moving.
being there, by making that move that you're willing
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
So it's a chronic condition, and it could be fatal without the transplant, but it's being managed and she's doing well.
Right now she's stable. She's on steroids and she does blood transfusions as needed. The problem is children around her age usually become steroid resistant. And once she becomes steroid resistant, she's going to need blood transfusions every 3 weeks to survive.
Wow. So you got to find that match.
We do. And it's kind of like our way of paying it forward, because I was telling my husband before we even started Hallie's Heroes, it was, we've got to do this now. We've got to find our match now so that when she gets sick, we can concentrate on her. We can go to the hospital. We can figure out, FMLA and all that other stuff. But right now, we've got to find the match.
Well, we certainly want to give people watching the show information. Hallie's Heroes, the website is Team Hallie, that's HALLIEBEA.org, correct? So Team Hallie B, I'm guessing that's her middle name.
Yeah, Beatrice when she's bad.
Oh, yeah, gotta use that middle name, Mom. Well, when we come back, we'll talk with Hallie and her mom, Elyse Bernard. She's Skyping in from Denton, Texas. We're talking about Hallie's Heroes, and finding a match for Hallie. We'll be back in just a minute.
Now, this is a story all about how Hallie B's life flipped, turned upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, if you sit right there, tell you how Hallie got a disease that's not fair. In Fisherville, Virginia, she was born, not raised, in a tiny little crib. She spent most of her days chilling out, laughing, relaxing, all cool, and drinking down a bottle with a little bit of drool. When an ugly disease that was up to no good made her feel bad in her neighborhood. She got a bad little cold and her doctor got scared, so they packed up and moved to Dallas for good care. They found Dr. Rogers and she came near. She said, listen up, Hallie, don't you fear. If anything, we could say the disease is rare, but she's got a lot of fight and she's getting good care. Hallie B's growing up fast and she's almost 8. Then she'll be 9, doesn't that feel great? Looking at this cutie who has all of our prayers, and we're asking everybody to show her we care.
Have a fun video you'd like to see featured on NCW Life? Email us at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.
Hi, we're back. We have Hallie Bernard Skyping with us now from Denton, Texas. She and her family are founders of Hallie's Heroes. How are you doing today, Hallie? Thanks for being here. Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi. I'm welcoming you to the show. I'm really glad to have you here. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to talk with us. Tell us a little bit about Hallie Heroes and how much fun you have trying to help people like yourself find a match.
So, Hallie's Heroes is a nonprofit organization that helps kids like me get a match.
And you've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years, your mom said.
Yep.
What's your normal day like? So you went to school today and you just got home?
Yeah, I get home, I do my homework, I do whatever, play outside, maybe watch TV. Then my mom makes me eat dinner. Then I get my PJs on and go to bed.
So you sound like every other kid I know your age.
Yeah.
And you have a good full life. You have lots of friends. You probably made lots of friends through Hallie's Heroes.
Yeah.
I've
it's
watched
true.
some of your videos and you're a very popular girl.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything you want to say to anyone? We could direct them to your website. Do you know what your website is?
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Good.
tell us.
Hallie's Heroes, and then you're basically on it.
Hallie's Heroes. You can just do a search and you'll find it. I found your story on Facebook. Somebody sent me a link to it and got in touch with your mom, and now we're talking. So on this show, I like to talk about positive, great things that people are doing in the world, and I think you're doing an amazing job, Hallie, and I'm honored to talk to you and meet you through Skype. So I guess I'll let you get on with your day.
Okay. Oh, these are the people who inspired me.
Okay.
Martin Luther King Jr., Malala, my parents, and then that's all.
So those are some of your heroes. Is that
Yeah.
how you kind of got the name Hallie's Heroes?
Well, the name Hallie's Heroes comes from, it's my name, and then heroes comes from like people who swab and race for me and all that.
Mm-hmm. So they're your hero too, your heroes for helping you?
Mhm.
Well, we're going to put information about Hallie's Heroes on the website on don'twaitproject.org, don'twaitproject.org, and do our best to help you and others find a match. I've had a couple bone marrow drives as well for different events, and it's always a good thing for people to understand the plight of others, other people's situation, and how they can help. So thank you for being here. Thanks for sharing your story, and have a really great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And to add,
Oh, okay. Well, let's add it.
my greatest hero is Officer Kent and Officer Brandy and Officer Novak.
They're your friends. And why are they your heroes?
They show me that what life is worth living for.
And how do they do that?
Well, they're police officers and they just hang out with me. They're not like kids at school who move away from me because they ask like, is my rare blood disease contagious?
Yeah.
They're just friends.
Yeah, so sometimes people get confused. Kids don't understand that they can't catch what you have, and so these friends of yours accept you just the way you are.
Yeah,
That's a good friend. I hope you have friends like that at school too.
I do.
Good.
I have Ava, Kaylee, Olivia, Mallory, Ashton, Lily, Sherlyn, Jenna, and Sarah, and that's all.
And you might have missed a couple, but that's okay. I'm sure you got a lot of friends. Thanks so
Yeah.
much for being here. And I'm going to stay in touch with your mom and see how you're doing. Stay in touch with you too, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for being here. If you want more information about Hallie's Heroes, just search it. It's easy to find. I found her. So glad I did. We'll be back in just a moment.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Hi, we're back. Thanks for being here. Today we're talking with Alex Kimura from Los Angeles. She's here to talk about Sharing America's Marrow, a program, a quest really, that was started in honor of her sister Sam. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about, first of all, your sister Sam and your role in this quest, as we called it.
Yeah, in 2010, my sister Sam was diagnosed with a rare bone marrow failure disease. It's called severe aplastic anemia. So it's when your body stops producing red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. So when she was diagnosed with this, she was only given about 6 months to live. And the only cure is a bone marrow transplant. So as her sister, I had the best chance of being a match. Siblings have about a 25% chance. So they tested me first, and unfortunately, I wasn't a match. I really thought we were going to be. We look very similar, and so the doctors were even like, "Yeah, you'll be a match," and I wasn't. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to hear. I'm her big sister. I'm her only sister. And I really felt like it was my job to save her. And I felt like I had let her down. I felt like I'd let my family down, even though there was nothing I could do to control it. And then so we looked to the National Registry to try to find a stranger that could donate to her. And out of about 10 million people, not a single person was a match for her either. So, and unfortunately, that happens to about half of patients who need a transplant. So thankfully, she's still alive today because they were able to do an alternative treatment. And she still takes about 20 pills a day to stay in remission. But she has a pretty high chance of relapsing, and if she does, then she'll need that transplant, and so she still needs a match.
So part of this trip that you guys took, it led up to, at what point did you guys decide we're going to team up with DKMS, which you can explain who they are as well, or what they are. At what point did you decide you're going to go on this tour, and we'll talk more about the tour?
Sure. So when we found out that Sam needed a transplant, and we started meeting other families that were just like ours, and we really wanted to do something to help. So we started hosting bone marrow donor drives, and we did that for a few years, and we signed up a few thousand people, but we knew that we could do something really big to make a big impact in this fight against cancer and blood diseases. So we wanted to start an organization called Sharing America's Marrow, or SAM, in honor of my sister Sam. And we partnered with DKMS, who is a bone marrow donor registry. So we were going to work with them to swab people. So all people have to do to sign up is just fill out a form and do a cheek swab. So we said, let's
It's a very simple procedure. A lot of people don't realize that, right? It's not invasive, and even if you are a match, we can get to that, but it's a very simple way of finding out if you're a match for someone.
Yes, the swab kit just takes a few minutes. It's really easy, and that just gets you on the list. So we knew that there's a lot of misconceptions, though, and I can talk about that in a minute. So we needed to spread the word as much as possible, and we thought about doing a few states around Kentucky, which is where we're from. But then we said, we're young, we have the opportunity to do this. Let's go to all 50 states and spread the word around the country. So that was the plan in 2015, to go to all 50 states in 1 year.
And you did it.
We did it, yeah. I can't believe we did it, but we did it.
And how many drives did you have set up throughout the country during that year?
We hosted 193 events that year in person, and then we had 71 satellite events as well, where we would help other people around the country set up events. So it was a big year, and we signed up about 24,000 people as part of this camp.
When we talked about having you on the show yesterday, you and I had a brief conversation, and you had said how hard it is to stay well when you're traveling for an entire year straight. And your sister had some challenges with that as well. But you guys stayed with friends, family, hotels, friends of friends along the way?
Yeah, we did a lot of fundraising. We created our own nonprofit, and because my sister is immune compromised, she still has her disease. She really needs to stay in a place with a clean bathroom and has to get plenty of good sleep. So we couldn't camp or anything like that, but thankfully we were able to raise enough money to stay in hotels. We tried to eat as healthy as possible, but we did a lot of gas station food. Sometimes that's all you can find. For her birthday, actually, we were in the middle of the desert, and all we could find to eat was string cheese and tortilla chips. So that was her birthday celebration. But
And maybe a Hostess cupcake or something, right? And you also took your friend Taylor along. She's the best friend of yours and your sister's?
Yes, she is our neighbor, and we grew up with her. We weren't really friends until my sister got sick. Our parents were friends, and one night my parents wanted to leave the house and I couldn't be there, and so they asked Taylor to come kind of sit with Sam. This is when she was really sick and needed someone to watch over her. And we come back and they became best friends in just a few hours. And then I became her friend too. And so she's really fun, and we knew that we needed help with this. It was a really big undertaking, and it'd be fun to have a best friend with us in it. And it was great having her there as kind of the comedic relief and kind of the person to.
And you're all still friends.
We're still friends, yes. I just moved to LA, but we were all living together actually, which at certain points of the year we didn't think that we would ever talk to each other again.
Right, I bet. Well, we're going to take a look at the film that is being produced. You're working on it in LA right now, editing, and it's called It's in Our Bones.
Did you ever expect that this would be where you were at 22? Could you ever imagine that this would be where you would end up?
No, definitely not. All of this got started in 2010 when I was diagnosed with a rare disease called severe aplastic anemia. They told me that I needed a bone marrow transplant. The doctor said that without a transplant, I would have about 6 months to live.
As Sam's only sibling, her big sister, I had the best chance of being her match. And I was devastated when I found out that I wasn't. I thought it was my job to save her.
Then they searched the registry, not a single match out of 10 million people.
Thankfully, Sam could have another treatment that put her in remission, but knowing that she could relapse at any time and still need a transplant, and that there are thousands of patients out there also searching for their hero, we had to do something. So we created Sharing America's Marrow, or SAM, with a goal of registering 50,000 bone marrow donors in 50 states in 2015. We knew we couldn't do this alone, so we asked our best friend Taylor to join us on this year-long road trip.
Bye. Alice, you get there.
This is gonna be the best year of our lives. So hopeful. We had all that new energy.
And how could we not? We were 3 best friends traveling the country trying to save the lives of patients fighting blood cancer. It was amazing. We were signing people up, but a lot of our events looked like this. We didn't think it would be this hard to get people to stop, and we didn't understand how prevalent the misconceptions about bone marrow are.
Do you have a few minutes to fight cancer today?
We just kept getting turned down.
When is this going to be cool? It's crazy to be doing something for a year that's so wildly unpopular.
The reality that humans sometimes can suck is a hard reality to accept. It was really tough to be the face of this organization. So I was constantly reminded that I had this disease.
Is this the most amazing year of your life? No.
I have a bald patch. I think people think for the majority of time we were 3 best friends going on a journey together, like giggling into the night. Sometimes we would go to bed not saying goodnight at all.
I'll freaking kill you. This was your idea.
Shut it. Hated everything. She was having a hard time. We're not going to be able to come back from this.
We're looking for someone. I think that we might be related.
I think we need to get really drunk if this is what's happening.
We make our breaks. If you don't like our 808s, then leave us alone, cause we don't need your policies. We have no apologies for being.
We should Instagram this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Find me where the wild things are. Don't mind us. Find me where the wild things are.
Nobody will ever get it. No one will ever get it. I don't get it even.
call, I'll be right here should you call.
So that is a clip from It's in Our Bones. You're in LA now working on the editing and hope to release it in the fall. What else would you like to say to our viewers about the donation process?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about bone marrow. There's been clips in movies and on TV where people are screaming, they're being stabbed in the back with a needle. And that's really inaccurate and really dangerous for this cause. In actuality, most donors actually just give blood stem cells, which is similar to giving platelets or plasma. Just takes a few hours, you sit in a chair, you watch some Netflix. And then the bone marrow donation process, which is only about 20% of the time, it's actually done under anesthesia. So you don't feel any pain. You might be a little sore, but you completely save somebody's life. So we really want to try to raise as much awareness around that and let people know that if you are called to be a donor, you might be the one person in the world that could save somebody's life. You might be the one person that my sister needs. And it's an awesome opportunity to save someone's life in your lifetime.
And it's one of the few ways you can donate something of yourself while you're still living. So I'm an advocate for that as well, as I'm sure you are.
Exactly. And you regenerate everything you donate, so it's not like you're giving away anything permanently.
What's your website? We can send people to your website for more information about donation.
Well, you can go to sharingamericasmarrow.com, and we have information about our trip on there. We have frequently asked questions about the bone marrow donation process, and you can actually sign up online. You can fill out your information, and then we'll mail you a cheek swab kit.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here, Alex. Best wishes to your sister and in completing the film.
Please join us weekly for the 12th District with yours truly, Carrie Condata. Check your channel guide for times or go to ncwlife.com for details.